You know, what's happening inside the Pi network right now isn't just another community poll, not even close. This is one of those fundamental moments. A moment where a project has to decide what it wants to be when it grows up. Is it just an asset, or is it going to become a true economic system?
And look, this choice isn't happening in a bubble. It forces everyone involved to look right at the biggest question in all of crypto. Is the goal here short-term speculation, or is it about building something with long-term, real-world utility? Every single project has to answer that, and Pi is putting that question directly to its community.
Now, you have to look at the timing of this vote. As you can see, it's all happening amidst, well, global chaos for crypto. You've got regulators who are totally confused, major players are backing away from the table, and the old laws just don't fit this new world. It's in this incredibly turbulent environment that Pi is trying to chart its own course. And Pi's strategy here is, well, it's different. Instead of rushing headfirst into all that chaos, the network has taken a deliberately slower, more methodical path. It's a complete counter-narrative to that move fast and break things idea we see so often. This slide right here illustrates the difference perfectly. The old playbook, the one most projects follow, is all about getting listed on exchanges as fast as humanly possible to ride those speculative waves. But Pi's strategy is the polar opposite. Delay the public opening, build out the core infrastructure first, and, this is the crucial part, wait for explicit community consent before making the next big move.
So this vote on January 22nd isn't just some random event. It really is the culmination, the grand finale of years of this careful, deliberate preparation. It's the moment where the community is formally asked to approve the path forward.
But this isn't a simple yes or no vote, not at all. It's a really complex, three-layered decision that's going to define exactly how Pi operates in the global economy. So let's break down what those layers really are.
Okay, first, you've got the technical key. Approving Protocol 23 is what would literally connect Pi to the outside world. It would unlock smart contracts for developers and a decentralized exchange for all its users. Huge. Second, there's the economic blueprint. This sets the actual rules of the road for how the open mainnet will interact with other blockchains and manage risk. And third, the value declaration. This is a choice about the very soul of the network's economy. And that brings us to the most misunderstood part of this whole thing, the global consensus value, or GCV. It is absolutely critical to understand that this is not about setting a fixed price. It's not about saying 1 Pi equals X dollars. It's a statement of principle. The question is Pi's value going to be determined by its internal ecosystem, by what users actually build and trade, or is it going to be defined by the whims of external market speculators? That's the real choice here. Now, this internal community decision has a massive and honestly often unseen external consequence, and that has everything to do with how regulators are going to view the network. This quote just captures Pi's approach perfectly. Building governance before liquidity. Think about that. In a world where projects usually launch first and ask questions later, Pi is establishing its rules, its structure, and its community's intent before opening the floodgates. This is incredibly rare. And what this does is create a kind of regulatory shield. When you have a network built on verified users, a transparent vote, a clear technical roadmap, and a community-approved direction, it becomes much harder for regulators to simply label it as just another speculative security. The governance itself becomes the shield.
But if this vote is so foundational, who actually gets to participate? I mean, who holds the power to make this massive decision?
The answer is a very deliberate design choice. As this table shows, voting power isn't just given to anyone who holds the asset. It's exclusively for users who have verified their identity and migrated to the mainnet. Your power is tied directly to your proven commitment, not just your ownership. And this is a profound shift in identity. This is the moment the network transforms from being a crowd-mined asset that people simply collect on their phones into a genuine stakeholder-driven system where the committed participants are the ones actually steering the ship. But what happens if that community of stakeholders fails to make a clear decision? In a decentralized world like this, what is the real cost of indecision? Well, decentralized systems absolutely hate a vacuum. If the community doesn't provide a strong, unified direction, that vacuum gets filled. External actors will define the story, speculators will dominate how the asset is valued, and eventually, regulators will be forced to step in and impose their own rules. This vote is the one mechanism to prevent all of that. So, It really all comes down to this. The choice on January 22nd is the moment the network stops being just an experiment and officially declares its identity to the entire world.
You know, this date won't be remembered for a new feature or some software update. It'll be remembered as the moment the network was asked to speak with a single collective voice.
And so, the ultimate question is left for the network itself to answer. Is Pi going to become just another digital asset reacting to the whims of markets and regulators? Or will it truly assert itself as an economic system governed by its own verified community and built on a foundation of real utility? That choice doesn't belong to exchanges or lawmakers, it belongs to the network itself.